Let us stop pretending that every compact crossover drives the same, because that is a lie.
Wow. Okay, coming out swinging today. That is a pretty bold declaration to kick things off.
It is, isn't it? But look, I didn't write it. That's straight from the source material we're diving into today. And honestly, it feels like a wake-up call. We're looking at the Hyundai Kona.
Right.
And if you're in the market for a car, or even just browsing, you might look at this and think, okay, I get it. Small SUV, grocery getter.
Yep, fits all those boxes. But the deeper we dig into the engineering spec and the road test data I have in front of me, the picture gets a lot more complicated.
Exactly. Because what we found, and this was the real aha moment for me, is that the Kona isn't really just one car.
No, not at all.
It's basically two completely different vehicles hiding under the same name. It has a split personality.
It's a classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario. Depending on, which box you check for the engine and the drivetrain, you are getting two wildly different mechanical animals.
And that's our whole mission for this deep dive. We need to make sure you know exactly what you're signing up for so you don't end up with the wrong car.
Because one is a budget commuter and the other is, well, it's pushing into territory that's usually reserved for much more expensive German cars.
The gap is huge. But before we start the engine on this, and trust me, we are going to rev it up, I have a quick favor to ask.
Please do.
If you want to make sure you don't miss the next breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It just takes a second.
It really helps us keep the research flowing. We'd love to have you.
Okay, let's get into it. This split personality. Let's start with the one most people probably end up, the base model.
Right. So looking at the spec sheet, this version has the 2.0-liter Atkinson cycle engine. And we should probably pause on that term, Atkinson cycle.
Yeah, decode that for us. It sounds fancy, but what does it actually mean?
In engineering, it almost always signals one thing: efficiency over power. It plays with the valve timing to squeeze every last drop of energy from the fuel.
Great for gas mileage.
Fantastic for gas mileage. The trade-off is it kills that low-end punch when you hit the gas.
Looking at the driving data, that becomes the word painfully obvious.
I would say the data supports that, yes. The acceleration figures show it takes about 10 seconds to get from 0 to 60.
10 seconds. Okay, in today's world, that feels like an eternity. You could knit a scarf in that time.
It's leisurely, but it's not just about the 0-60 time. The real issue is merging onto a busy freeway. The source material calls it feeling like an eternity.
No, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
You're on a short on-ramp, you see a truck in the mirror getting bigger and bigger, you floor it,
yeah,
and the car is just sort of thinking about it.
Exactly. It's asking for power that isn't there, and helping or maybe hurting. This is the transmission.
The IVT.
Correct. Intelligent variable transmission, which is just Hyundai's brand name for a CVT.
The CVT. Car people have strong feelings about those, usually described as whiny.
And often for good reason. They can create that rubber band effect.
Right, where the engine noise goes way up, WRRRRRR, but your speed doesn't really match. It's just noise.
Precisely. Now, to be fair to Hyundai's engineers, they did do something smart here. They use a chain instead of a belt inside the transmission.
A chain, so it's stronger.
It's more durable, and the data suggests it feels less rubbery than, say, an older Nissan CVT. So it's a better version of it.
Better, but is it good?
It's competent. But if you mash that throttle, the engine is going to pin itself at high RPMs, and it is going to drone. It's not a pleasant sound.
Okay, so a slow engine, a droning transmission. But here's where it got really wild. The suspension. The actual bones of the car are different.
This is such a critical point. If you buy the front-wheel drive model, which is the base setup, you get a rear suspension called a torsion beam.
Torsion beam. It sounds, I don't know, kind of old-fashioned, like from a horse and buggy.
Well, imagine a solid U-shaped metal beam connecting the two rear wheels. It's cheap to make, and it's compact, so you get more trunk space.
Okay, practical. I like practical. What's catch?
The catch is physics. Because the wheels are physically connected, they aren't truly independent.
Meaning if one hits a pothole,
the other one feels it. The shock isn't isolated. The whole back of the car gets involved.
Oh, wow.
The source material calls it a jittery ride on rough pavement. If you're in a corner and hit a bump, the back end can feel like it's hopping sideways.
That does not sound good.
Yeah.
So the base model Dr. Jekyll is slow, drony, and jittery.
That's the reality. It's an appliance designed for low-cost, smooth road commuting. It's fine for that, but it's not refined.
Right. But, and this is a huge, but that's only half the story, because there's another Kona.
Mr. Hyde.
The turbo model. And before we get into that, because it sounds like a totally different car, I just want to ask you, the listener, how are you liking this? If this is helping you, hit that like button.
And leave a comment below. Tell us what you drive. Do you know if you have a torsion beam? It's okay if you don't.
Yeah, your engagement really helps the algorithm find other people who need to know this stuff.
Okay.
Let's flip it. We're in the N line, or the limited trim now. What changes?
Almost everything that matters to a driver. First, the engine, the 1.6-liter turbo.
And now we're talking nearly 200 horsepower.
Correct. But more important is the torque. It's available low down in the rev range, so that 10-second acceleration, gone. It feels urgent.
But the power isn't even the biggest changes.
Not even close. The real magic happens if you get the all-wheel drive version.
Because of the suspension again.
Yes, this is the secret handshake. With AWD, they can't fit the torsion beam back there because of the rear differential, so they have to swap it out for a multi-link rear suspension.
Multi-link, that just sounds more complex.
It is. Instead of a solid beam, each wheel gets its own system of links and arms. They are completely independent.
So if the left tire hits that same pothole,
the left tire just deals with it. The right tire and the rest of the car stay composed. It soaks up the impact.
and the source material really loves, didn't it?
They said it transforms the car. They compared the ride quality, and this is a direct quote, to a more expensive German car.
Wow, that is a bold claim for a Hyundai.
It means the car feels planted. It feels mature, and that confidence extends to the steering.
Which is electric, like pretty much everything these days.
Yes, electric powers, which can sometimes feel numb.
Like a video game.
Right. And at parking lot speeds, the Kona steering is super light, effortless, they call it. You can turn it with one finger.
But the turbo has that sport mode button. Is that just a gimmick? A red light on the dash?
In a lot of cars it is, but here, no. The data shows it actually does. It adds real weight to the steering, so it feels more stable. It also sharpens the throttle and makes the transmission hold gears long.
Speaking of the transmission, the turbo doesn't use that IVT, right?
No, and this is a huge point. The old Kona turbo had a 7-speed dual clutch that was, let's say, problematic.
I remember hearing about that. Jerky in traffic.
Very jerky. Like a teenager learning to drive a manual. It was a major complaint, so Hyundai got rid of it.
And replaced it with?
A proper 8-speed automatic with a torque converter.
Okay, so the torque converter is the hero here. Why?
It uses fluid to transfer power. Fluid is smooth. It acts like a cushion. The source called it buttery smooth in stop-and-go traffic.
And we spend, what, like 90% of our time in that kind of traffic?
Exactly. It's a massive quality of life.
So you've got the turbo power, the sophisticated suspension, a smooth transmission, and steering that actually does something. It sounds like it becomes fun.
That's what the report says. Genuinely fun to toss around a corner. It proves a crossover doesn't have to be a penalty box.
I love that phrase. Nobody wants a penalty box.
Oh.
Okay, so slow and jittery versus quick and sophisticated. Let's talk about actually living with it. Day-to-day visibility.
Right. It's a stylish car, but that means it has a high belt line. The windows are a bit short.
So you feel like you're sitting down low inside it.
A bit, yeah. You feel tucked inside. But they compensated with huge side mirrors and a blind spot monitoring system that's described as aggressive.
Aggressive how?
It alerts you way before you make a mistake. It's a good digital safety net to make up for the styling.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about zipping around town, parking U-turns?
It's fantastic there. The turning circle is only about 34 feet.
Is that good? I have no idea what that means.
It's exceptionally good. It means you can pull a U-turn on a normal street without having to do a 3-point turn.
Oh, that's a superpower. I hate the 3-point turn of shame.
It makes the car feel really agile and small in the city.
And stopping.
The brake feel is linear, not grabby, which just means it's predictable. You won't be jerking your passengers' heads at every stoplight.
Okay, what about noise? The old Kona was kind of loud on the highway, right?
It was a lot of wind noise. They specifically addressed that with thicker glass and more sound deadening in the floor.
So it's quiet now.
It's much quieter. However, and here's a big expert tip from the source material, the wheels make a huge difference.
Ah, the big shiny wheels trap.
Exactly. The higher trims often come with these great-looking 19-inch wheels, but you'll still hear a lot of tire roar with that setup.
Because there's just less rubber to absorb the noise.
Precisely. The sidewall of a tire is part of your suspension. A thin sidewall transmits more noise and harshness into the cabin.
So what's the pro tip? If I want the quietest ride,
Stick to the 18-inch wheels. That taller sidewall acts as a second suspension cushion. It just smooths everything out.
that is great advice. We always get tricked by the cool-looking wheels in the showroom.
It's a classic trade-off between looks and comfort.
So to pull it all together, the Kona drives smaller than it is, which is a compliment. It's agile, easy to park,
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a big, clumsy SUV.
but the experience you get is entirely based on which box you check on the order form.
It really is. You're either buying a basic appliance or a surprisingly sophisticated German-feeling compact car.
Look, we've gone from torsion beams to torque converters. If you found this helpful, please take 1 second and subscribe to the channel. Your subscription is the fuel that keeps this engine running.
And leave a comment. We love reading them.
Which brings us to our final question. We've been praising the turbo model with its fancy suspension and all that horsepower. It's objectively the better car.
By every technical metric, yes, it's...
But, and here's the thought to chew on, the source reminded us that we spend 90% of our lives in stop-and-go traffic.
where you can't use 200 power. And you might not feel the benefit of that amazing suspension when you're crawling along at 5 miles per hour.
So here's the real question. Is the jittery ride of the base model actually a deal breaker? Or, for how we actually drive, Is it just a fair trade for the lower price? Are we paying thousands for engineering we never actually get to use?
It's the classic battle between the car we want to drive and the way we're forced to drive.
Something to think about next time you're stuck in traffic. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Drive safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care.